Mm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome, all you beautiful broken chairs out there. Welcome back to the JCP End Zone Perspective Podcast. Here I am joined by my lovely co-host, Um, it's
Uh,
kind of awkward. There's no Chooch for today, unfortunately. So you just have to stick with me and Cole, and if you don't like that, well, you can get out.
the
But
door.
yeah, get out the door. So we are at week 3, coming into week 4 of the NFL show, but this will cover week 3. Um, this has just been a bizarre week. This is one of the weirdest weeks in the history of the NFL, I feel like.
Indeed.
Um, but yeah, we're gonna hit you. Not starting off with NFL news for today, just because we couldn't really find much. But we were gonna start off with some injury worries, things that me and Cole are finding worried about the NFL landscape in terms of injuries, and then we're gonna go into the games for week 3, and then we'll have the fantasy picks for me and Cole. I keep on saying Chooch for some reason. I miss him already.
It's that connection. It's deep in his soul.
And then we'll
Don't
do
ever
like a
question.
yeah. And then we'll do good picks, mid picks, and then bad picks for the fantasy, and then we're going to end it off.
Set
So,
it off.
how do we feel? Yep. All
All
right.
right.
Injury worries. Take that new no Chooch off. I just feel scared. Oh, sorry. There's a build up now. Cole has his camera now.
Well, more so my phone camera.
Yeah, your
I
phone
don't have a
camera.
official camera yet, but for the moment you all have been waiting for, I told you it was coming. So without further ado, how we doing?
What are we doing?
Yes,
All right,
we live.
we are live. Anyway, going on to the injury worries. I'm really worried when it's gonna come into the postseason, the playoffs too. It's it makes me scared of like is the team that's gonna go to the Super Bowl just the healthiest team?
I think that's
Like,
a realistic worry.
yeah, the I just think that it's going to be a bad season in general, just because that's the only reason as you make it is because you have your full roster with you with only 1 to 2 injuries, and then all the
Right.
great teams that were potential Super Bowl contenders are all out because they have 35 injuries on their list.
Well, and the thing is, unlike any other year that I've noticed, it seems like the most critical players get injured this week or like earlier. Like, we saw Trayvon Diggs not too long ago, kind of near the beginning of the week, and that was kind of a shock. And, of course, Nick Chubb almost had that season ending injury, much less, maybe even career, some are saying. So,
Yeah,
you
which
know,
we did get reports on saying that it's not a career-ending injury. Thank
thank
God.
God.
Yeah, because that would be horrible. Because he's still
Indeed.
pretty young too. He's not like 38,
Like, yeah, he's like 27, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So he still has a lot of good years in him. But yeah, I feel like this year is going to be so weird because when I look at when I look up like NFL injuries week 4, week 3, it's like lists upon lists of like major players. Didn't Keenan Allen did get injured? Uh, I think I
Yeah,
think.
he had
Hmm.
I know Shaq Thompson was another one. He got carted off, but yeah, I mean, just critical players in general and leaders recently have been getting injured left and right. So it's quite a scary time right now in the NFL.
Yeah, everyone's just dropping like flies. It's
See, and that's something I wanted to ask you too. It's like, do you think there's a difference between, the star player getting injured or the, locker room vets getting injured, or maybe the new guy who's, having a phenomenal season getting injured? Like, how do you think each individually affects the team. You know what I mean?
So for the major players, like the top one players in their depth position, I think it's bad for them in the fact that their fans don't get to see them go all out like they would in normal seasons. Like J.K. Dobbins getting injured on the week one game, Ravens
Right.
running back. It was so horrible because I was so excited to see him just ball out because he looked so good in the preseason and in training camp.
Or you traded for him on your fantasy team and
Yeah, or I traded for him on my fantasy team, and then he got an ACL tear. So yeah, and also when you're like a starter for that position, you're just like, I don't want to let our team lose because we had to put in backups that aren't as good.
understood, yeah.
And then in the backups case of getting injured, it's like, dude, if our number one guy goes down, where are they gonna? They're not gonna. Are we gonna have to go to the third string, a fourth string at this point?
Yeah, I
It's
mean, where does it end?
Yeah, and for rookies are probably have it the hardest because last year's rookie class was just so electric with like almost every position. I can't really think of a position last draft that was like, oh yeah, this could have more depth in it.
Yeah,
And then it's like, boom, Bijan Robinson, boom, Jameer Gibbs, and it's like you have the most two electric running back rookies at the moment right now, both on different teams, obviously, but it's still just impressive to see them. So imagine if rookies having an amazing season and then they go down in like week two or week three. It's like crap, dude.
well, and the thing nobody talks about with like rookies, it's like, okay, they kind of have a grace period with the GMs because, a lot of them just got spent a high draft pick, so, nobody's freaking out yet. Um, but if that continues, and it doesn't even have to be like, say it happens 3 years down the line, that even looks bad. Like, Saquon Barkley's, note of that, he got injured, I want to say rookie year or just after rookie year. And then after that, he keeps getting injured maybe once or twice more. And now everybody's asking, is this a legitimate worry? Should we keep him? Um, it's, one of the many examples of how damaging a rookie injury can be.
Yeah. It's also like the move that the NFLPA made with like going to move to grass field is such a relief, and that we're hopefully not going to have another season like this.
Right.
Hopefully, and like imagine if like, all right, let's say next year it's all grass now, and then people still keep on getting injured. Then what's the worry then? What do we have to fix now?
Well, I think that's the Pandora's box that nobody really wants to talk about because, you know, the I think that question kind of scares, the NFL execs, especially because, it's like, okay, if it's not the fields, then where do we cut next? And
Yeah,
I think the answer's pretty logical. I think you go back to normal on, okay, we had some scary hits back in the day, but if we don't eliminate this hitting low thing and making players scared to like show any aggression or hit high, it's gonna get a lot worse. Like
yeah.
undoubtedly.
Like I don't know about you, but I would much rather have like a Ray Lewis hit me like full on spear me WWE style than like someone going after my like, all right, when you get like hit in the stomach, the maybe the worst thing that'll happen to you is either a cracked rib at the most or the wind gets knocked out of you.
Right.
I'd rather much have that than someone going after my knees and breaking my leg and like just full on overextension of my leg.
Yeah.
Like I don't know the confusion about that.
Well, I think it's like there's so much people who are scared now about like CT and are these big hits causing it? What makes people go crazy from these head hits? And we don't want headhunters in the game. And like, I get it, but at the same token, say you have a player. right? Who just he's a really great player. He goes and he makes, phenomenal tackles, like you were saying, like a Ray Lewis. And, somebody who just hits hard, plays fast, or like a Luke Kuechly almost, and or Patrick Willis. And that type of player cannot play in the NFL anymore because, now they're going to call him on targeting on every hit.
Yeah. Uh, I think there definitely needs to be a punishment for like going low on the knees or on the ankles because like the injury risk with that I think is much greater than just like a wrap it up of the body and then like bringing him down. All right, I think we're ready to move on to the week week 3 NFL games though. Starting it off with I'm glad I think Chooch is glad that we're not gonna that he's not gonna have to talk about this game.
Not a
Giants
part of
versus 49ers. Um Giants, what are you doing here? Like you were expected to go at least make the playoffs, and I'm seeing that hope die down really fast. Especially since Saquon Barkley got injured, I think in week 2. 49ers putting on a show against the Giants. Brock Purdy did not look that great though, in terms of how he usually plays. I can't really put on a reason for that, but I think he's due one okay-ish game, not a great game.
Well, I think a part of that too is just the understanding that has to come with Brock Purdy because, if you look at him realistically, he's a quarterback who fits the right scheme. He never really went out and kind of had to wow people. It was always just, hey, make a few nice dump offs, hit occasionally, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, and it's like, that's his bread and butter. So when you put him in a situation to where, nobody wants to really give credit to New York, but they have a pretty good defense that are going to show you confusing looks and against a quarterback like that. Yeah, I know technically they still scored 30 points, but it's the principle that, they're going to stall you out. And if New York had any semblance of an offense, they might have won this game.
Yeah, as you said, the Giants defense is not really, they are pretty good, but against the 49ers offense, they look like cupcakes out there,
Right.
giving up a 30. Um, I just think, like, we all seen the clip of Daniel Jones just looking horrified at the 49ers defense.
He's like, help
Just
me, anybody.
has no idea what to do at all. He looks like a middle schooler out there about to ask on a girl for a date. But I just I think the Giants need to step up. And 49ers is not like, oh, you're doing terrible right now, but only putting up 12 points
Yeah.
is, you could have done better. You could have made a lot of mistakes that you missed. Missed a lot of mistakes.
Oh, you're right about that.
All right, Titans versus Browns. I did not expect the Titans to just take this big of an L.
Well, I'm going to give a little precursor to the fantasy segment, and I had Kareem Hunt and Derrick Henry starting in both of these games. I was like, man, this is perfect. I'm going to get the best of both worlds here. They're going to be the vocal point of their offense. No, Derrick Henry,
No.
he did not have a good week, and Kareem Hunt got outshone by Jerome Ford. So thanks, guys. You costed me this week. Appreciate it. But on a serious note, Cleveland, man, that defense, they did their thing. And honestly, it's not that hard, though, because, if
Yeah,
you can
you have
stop
Ryan
anything
Tannehill
with
throwing a
your.
ball. I do not like Ryan Tannehill. I think they is a trash quarterback.
No, he's literally like Kirk Cousins, just huge thumbs down.
A worse Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Like the Browns scoring 27 points was a big thing to me because it's like, after after the Nick Chubb injury, where do you go? Are you going to score as many points as you were expected to bring up? And I think this has the answer with like you said, Kareem Hunt wasn't the biggest focal point, but he did make he got enough done. I feel like,
He had a few nice plays.
yeah. So I think the Browns will do just fine without him, but we can't really know for sure as of right now because the Titans aren't like that big of an opponent. Um, hopefully next week. Who do they face in week 4?
Oh, that is
Because if it
information I do not have. Because, yeah, funny story, a little bit of a
oh,
spoiler
they face Baltimore. They face
going
Baltimore.
forward.
They face
We
the
have
Ravens
the
week 4.
week 4 games to look forward to later on, like Jacob mentioned,
Oh.
and I did not look up that game.
uh, but they face the Ravens week 1. Well, though in week 4. So I think once if they get a high scoring point against the Ravens, a high scoring game against the Ravens, I
Right.
think that's when we'll have our answer of like, okay, will they do fine without good old Nick Chubb?
Yeah. I mean that's really a question because it's one thing to beat the Titans, it's a completely different thing to beat Baltimore. And is that in Baltimore or is that Cleveland?
It is at Cleveland.
It makes it a little bit better, but believe me, that defense, they fly. That's a tough team to beat right now.
Right.
Unless you're Indy,
Uh,
apparently.
shut up.
I'm getting ahead of us.
All right, next game: Falcons versus Lions. Lions come out of this with a 20-6 victory.
You know who
I'm not surprised. I knew the Lions would absolutely stomp the Falcons out.
I will say this, I'm thoroughly convinced that the Falcons watch our show because I said get Kyle Pitts involved a week ago. They did. Applaud. Round of applause for these guys. I cannot believe they listened.
Yeah, they really did. They
He had
heard you from a mile away.
56 passing, 56 yards, and then they even tried to run the ball with him. I was like, way to go, guys. I mean, it was negative yardage, but hey, the effort is still there.
Hey, trying is just as good. No, it's not.
That's right.
It's really
Participation,
it's
baby.
really not. Um, I think the Lions they did a lot well because considering how many guys they have injured, how many major players have injured, like they got David Montgomery and C.J. Gardner Johnson
Right.
out of that game, and it's like, oh, they're gonna do good. And Aiden Hutchinson finally got a sack, and not just one; he got two. He got 2 sacks, and I'm so happy. And he
See
hit the
what he
stinky
can
leg
do when
on him.
he's not getting held?
Exactly. Especially at like the last play of the game and the overtime, and
We don't talk about it.
no one talks about it anyway.
Look, I got a letter from the NFL. All right, they said you cannot talk about it on stream, so
I'll
don't
talk
blame
about it. I'll talk about it recording on a recording then.
me.
But yeah, Aiden Hutchinson hit the stanky leg after he got a sack, so happy for him to finally get a sack in the season.
Absolutely. And Jared Goff, man, I might have to retract some words. I'm not
Yeah, you
fully there yet.
should.
I'm not fully there yet, but I'm just saying he's doing okay.
Hitting wide open people way down the field is such a especially the tight end that the beautiful tight end that Detroit has. If I can ever remember his name.
Sam Laporta?
Yeah, Sam Laporta. It was funny too because there people were saying that Aiden Hutchinson was on the field as a tight end because 87 and 97 and they couldn't see the 8. So
I was
people were
gonna say, I
thinking that
mean, get him
Aiden
involved.
Hutchinson was going to toss the ball.
Hey,
Yeah,
Travis
Sam
Hunter
Laporta did a
can do
great
it.
job so right now. So can he. All right now. So Packers versus Saints. Packers absolutely stealing this one away by 1 point against the Saints. 1 point. Saints had a. I think Saints held on to the 17 score, and then they let the Packers come up and take them right out of their feet. Um, this one's a mixed bag here. I just think the Saints defense has to hold up. You know, they can't let touchdowns happen when they build a big lead. No, it wasn't even a big lead. It was 2 touchdowns and a field
Two
goal.
touchdowns.
Right. Uh, I just think the Saints have to step up in a lot of factors, but the defense is definitely one of them. You know, yeah, it's cool that your offense got points. Now let them keep those points, and
Exactly.
don't let anyone come close to that.
And if they do, then you hit them, give them a 15-yard unnecessary roughness, rough them up a bit.
Exactly, just send a message.
You are the alpha.
The Packers, on the other hand, freaking Packers. Anyway,
So I just want to make something clear to the people watching here. When I look to the side like this, I'm just checking any remaining notes because I got my computer screen on up to the stats. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I just wanted to clarify.
I'm just upset that the Packers got a win. God dang it.
Just a
They
rough
did good
one.
though. They did good, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't like talking about
Um,
this game. Next
I
game.
just want to say real quick before we move on, to me the thing that stood out the most in this game, and again, you're not gonna like it, so give it the old ear cover, right? uh, I just want to say Jordan Love, he's been doing a lot better than I thought he was. 259 yards, and really showed character in this game. So props to him, man. He's been on quite the streak. Let's see if he keeps it up, though.
Yeah. We were. I think all of us were a little hesitant to see how Jordan Love can get out there and coming off of being the secondary of Aaron Rodgers for such a long time and then just being a
Yeah,
starter right
40.
away. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, is he going to do good? His performance in week 1 wasn't great. Okay, now he's actually doing good. And then, okay, he led this team to a win when they were down by like 17 points. So maybe we can give him some cred. Maybe we can give him like, okay, he's fine.
A smile comes to my face the way you said, the TU word. You almost. I'm not gonna go the last letter. Maybe someone will get that for our game when we talk about that team.
Oh, okay. Next game though, Chargers versus Vikings. 28-24. Chargers take this win. Vikings, you had every chance. No, not Vikings. Kirk Cousins, you had every chance to take this team and just go with it and take this W. But you just weren't playing your best, and that's not something that I should be uttering about a football player, let alone a team, especially a quarterback for the Vikings, which is just despicable.
You see, I mean, Jacob, haven't we been saying this forever? Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins is the most mid quarterback in the NFL today, and man, did he show it.
I mean, you heard what he said about uh wide receivers in KFC, right?
I did not.
You didn't?
No.
Oh my god. He was in a KFC commercial and he said something diabolical.
What did he say?
Because of KFC. A little extra flavor makes the wide receivers work harder for the ball.
That's got to be
What
racist. That's
the
got
heck? Oh no. We're gonna get canceled now. Way to go, Jacob.
Hey, I didn't say it. It was Kirk Cousins.
Cancel Kirk. Don't cancel us, folks.
Yeah.
Cancel he Kirk. Is mid. Cancel Kirk. Get it trending on.
He should just be canceled already because of how terrible he is.
Exactly. He's so mid it hurts my soul.
I think this is going to be the year that the Vikings organization will decide, okay, do we draft a quarterback and at the early round, do we trade up? Do we trade up and get, an early first rounder and get a quarterback that will do good for this organization that's not Kirk Cousins because he isn't showing us right now, especially in the playoff scene and in primetime games.
Well, and the thing is that, drives me wild is you drafted a quarterback a few years ago in Kellen Mond, and then you didn't give him like any looks at all. And I'm not saying he was great, but it's like at least show something to him.
Yeah,
But now you find yourself in this situation in one of the deepest quarterback classes coming up. You got Caleb Williams, you got Sam Howell, you got Jaden Daniels is coming up, and that's just to name a few. You got a lot. The quarterback from Syracuse, and the list just keeps going. And it's like, okay, and JJ McCarthy, your guy, your
of
guy's
course. If he goes to the Vikings, I'm quitting the NFL.
coming.
I will quit. I will cry for hours and hours.
What if he goes to Michigan or Detroit though?
I'll be happy. I'll be a happy man.
Starts over Jared Goff.
By the way, no, we got Hendon Hooker.
That's true.
If
I
Jared
like
Goff
him.
ever goes down. Kellen Mond is on the Browns, by the way, if you didn't know.
Well, I know now. I'm saying initially, he gets drafted.
I know he got drafted to the Vikings, but I'm saying like to not even give him a chance and then just trade him away or drop.
Exactly.
I don't know if he got dropped or was
He
traded.
got dropped.
Yeah, not even give him a chance and then let primetime Kirk come in.
Can we stop with this bullshit narrative already?
Spices make the wide receivers work harder for the ball.
Get that trending on Twitter, please.
Good jobs, Chargers. I hate you, Vikings. Moving up to the next game, though, Patriots versus Jets. Zach Wilson is absolute trash, and he should be booted from the league immediately.
So this game pissed me off because it's just like, how did the Patriots only win by 5? You literally had the whole game in the palm of your hands, Belichick, and you blew it. How did you blow it? Like, technically you won, but like it felt like you should have lost. Let's be
honest. This game was an absolute mess, though.
Terrible.
Like we even seen the defense like on the bench just getting mad at Zach Wilson.
I can't blame him. I mean, he is really like the worst quarterback in the NFL. I'm just being honest.
And I wouldn't even get mad at Zach if I was a player on the Jets. I wouldn't even get mad at Zach. I'd get mad at the GM for letting him just be like, all right, we're not going to look for anybody. We're going to stick with Zach. And then this performance comes up and it's like, do you have a new plan? Are you going to stick with your guns on this one? Because you really shouldn't. And even the Colin Kaepernick stuff, about J. Cole writing a letter to the Jets organization. Did you see that?
I did. I could not believe it when I saw it.
I was like, this is the most random thing that could ever happen right now.
Was his letter, she knows that Colin should start over Zach?
It's not she knows. Everyone knows that Colin Kaepernick should be signed by the Jets. And the fact Colin Kaepernick hasn't even he didn't like really take any breaks from training. He still trains to be a quarterback right now. And he's right there. I would much rather have a quarterback that will give it its all and lose than a quarterback that just makes dumb mistakes almost every play and not think properly and then just be like, oh yeah, I didn't let anything, it was the defense's fault.
And to think that he was a top 5 pick in the NFL
disgusts me.
Oh, he's got to be one of the worst of all time.
It's like week 1, Aaron Rodgers goes down, Zach Wilson comes in. Okay, Bills will win this one. They miraculously pull it off after Josh Allen has to throw 3 picks. It's like, okay, maybe this team can go somewhere. Now I'm not seeing that ever happen. I don't think that'll happen. This
Not with
this
Zach
playoffs
Wilson.
hope. Yeah, not with Zach Wilson. So Jets, please pick up the court. Please pick up Colin. Like to have any hope for the playoffs at all, you need to pick up Colin. He's asking for it. He's begging for it.
Well,
And don't
like, hear me out. I know no Jet fan is gonna want to hear this. I know no, anybody who's loved this team from the off season, but hear me out. If you tank this year, you will not regret it. You got Caleb Williams or Drake May as your 1 and 2. Like, I personally would play the long ball. You could have a dynasty. You could be the next Chiefs. I'm not joking. Like, this roster is that good that if you swallow your pride for 1 year, I guarantee you could be a dynasty and win at least 4 Super Bowls if you got Caleb Williams or Drake May.
not to mention they also have a really tough schedule.
That's true.
Yeah, so next week they're going against the Chiefs. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
And then after that the Broncos, and then after that the Eagles, then the Giants, then the Chargers. The lowest ranking, like the worst team that they face is the Raiders, and I don't even see them winning that game if they still have Zach Wilson at the helm.
yeah, no, the Raiders are better than the Broncos. Give them some respect.
We'll talk about that when we get to their game. We'll talk about how I feel about the Broncos when I get to their game.
My finishing thoughts though on this game is like I feel bad for the Jets defense. I genuinely do because you give up only 15 points. You should have won this game and you would have won with any other QB at the helm. Heck, even call up Teddy Bridgewater, call up
Well, he's at the
call up
Lions right now.
exactly, call up just some random dude on the street and you would have won. Call me up. We would have won. Give me a call, man. Come on. But
I'm gonna be honest. You can put in the kicker as a quarterback, and I feel like you could have won this game.
Yes. You see, that's my point, though. It absolutely irks me that this defense worked their ass off just to lose to the Patriots, who should have buried them by more.
Yeah. Props to the Jets defense though for only letting the Patriots get 15 points on them though.
Absolutely.
And then the offense is doing nothing. So next game, Bills. Bills versus Commanders. I'm not shocked.
No, I don't think anybody is.
Bills 37 points to only 3. This is what we wanted to see when you fought the Jets.
Exactly.
This is what we wanted to see.
Well, and my question is because I've seen this quite a bit. There's been some people who have questioned and went, oh, but isn't this new guy supposed to be like really good in terms of offense? And where was he? And it's just like, man, you can't say that about this Bills game. They should have been a lot worse than it was. So give this guy some credit. They had a rough game. It happens.
Yeah. Bills potentially making the Super Bowl after seeing this game.
I'm not ready to say that just yet.
Nah. But after this game, just seeing how they can, have both offense and defensive like great sides of the ball. I won't say Super Bowl. I'm saying playoffs definitely, and that's not really a hot take to say the Bills are making the playoffs. But yeah, Commanders only scoring 3 points. That's pretty bad. So potential hard knocks on the Commanders facility. I think so. Oh. Cole is gone. Okay. Cole just abandoning me like that. I will try and get him back up. It's pretty weird. But yeah, I just think that the Commanders need to have either a great trade next year or a great free agency class for this upcoming season. Cole,
Yes,
where
sir.
did you go?
You see, funny story, right? So, everything died, and I'm not too sure about it. So, um, yeah, Jacob, thanks for being professional. Keep it going. So, but as I was saying, give the head coach of the Commanders a break. You're allowed to have a few games off. Hell, you're the Commanders for God's sake. Nobody's expecting much, but no, Bills looked really good. They looked in form, so big props to the Bills. I'm not ready to say Super Bowl winner just yet, though. You need a more impressive win for sure, especially after the Jets lost now.
Yeah, that was bad. All right, next game. Texans versus Jaguars. I did not expect uh is this the most surprising game? No, it's not. No, I just remembered one of the other games. No, it's not.
um, Upset wise, yes. Everything else,
Yeah.
no. I
I,
cannot
I
wait to talk about that one, but we'll get there when we do.
Texans. Well, no, not Texans. Jaguars. How are you letting 37 points get up on you from the Texans? From the
I don't
Texans.
know. See, I really want to know, but I just don't know.
You're supposed to be winning, making the playoffs, having a no sure doubt. But then you let the Jaguars. No, now you're letting the Texans score 37 points on you. Like they're the freaking Chiefs.
Maybe they are the Chiefs. Did you think about that? They just like switched uniforms for the day.
They could have. They very well could have.
Just pull the whole brouhaha.
Just make sure no one aims at my face with the camera. Why is that? Why is that Chris Jones out there?
Why are they pointing at me?
I just this is really surprising for me. So now we have a hole that the Jaguars can exploit now is at their defense. So if you can just exploit their defenses in a way, and then that's how they can win. Is just letting that defense crumble beneath the floor.
Just that defense. And I'm gonna give Jacksonville the benefit of the doubt here, just because it's like, you got absolutely destroyed, yeah, emotionally a week ago by the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's like, man, all week you're thinking like, okay, this is a game, we could win, and then you lose 17-9 to them a week ago. Maybe you come into this week a little deflated, and I think Houston was amped up after their loss to Indianapolis. So honestly, I think it was just kind of the perfect storm in terms of Houston winning. So I think all those things played a factor, and honestly, that's kind of why Houston won here in the fashion that they did.
Yeah. I just Jacksonville, you need to have either a really great free agency at the end of this year or a really great draft, because I don't think that this defense is going to cut it deep into the playoffs like you almost did last year. But like, I'm not saying the Texans are a bad team, but Texans aren't 37 points. They aren't a 37-point team. But yeah, I just think that the Texans did pretty good. They exploited the Jaguars' holes in the defense, and yeah. All right, moving on to the next game though. We got the Colts
Okay,
versus
real
Ravens.
real quick to cut in. That one was on me, folks. I accidentally fat thumbed the leave button, so you can blame me on that one.
I will blame you on that one.
Guilty as charged.
But we do got the Colts versus Ravens game coming up, and I'm going to cry Well, well, you talk about this one extensively more than I will.
Sure.
So,
I love
I,
bringing you pain, you know this.
yeah, I know you do.
Ohio State won last week, by the way.
I know. You don't
I
have to
just
tell
thought
me
I'd
that. I
remind
know.
you.
I know.
So, in case you don't watch the college show, he's a big Michigan fan. So, anytime you get to stab him in the lung a little bit, always helps. um, no, but to talk about this game, I was completely shocked. Baltimore looked like they had this game in the bag, and then Indianapolis just kept hanging around, and eventually forced it to OT. And it's like, oh man, this is quite the game. And let's just say Indianapolis, what's that? The phrase the internet uses, had that dog in them. They had that dog in them, and
You sound so old when you say, what did they say?
I
What
don't
is the
know all
internet
these
people
new
say now?
things. I believe it or not, I've said this a few times. I swear, I'm like a 58 or so year old soul.
Yeah, you are. It's
I swear.
unbelievable. I just Ravens. Why are you so inconsistent?
You don't know what
You can have a great game the week before. Like you had a great game last week. And then what do you do here? It's like the same thing as last year. The defense is fumbling the bag at every turn. I don't get it. With these many players, I get that you don't have Marlon Humphrey, and I get that you have players that are injured, but come on, it's the Colts. It's the Colts. I get it if it's like the Chiefs or the Eagles or the freaking anything else, but it's the Colts. Like, come on. We got to do better on the defensive side of the ball, and I hope it gets closer to where expectations can be on when Marlon Humphrey comes back. I think it's around like week 7 or 8 when he's going to come back.
And how weird is that to say too? Because normally, the defense is rock solid, gets a lot of stops, gets off the field. Usually, it's the heart and soul of Baltimore.
Yeah, I think after Lamar got drafted a couple, like maybe after 2019, when Lamar had that amazing season, that MVP season.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh is Jim, right? I always say Harbaugh
Jim,
just so
John, close enough.
I always say Harbaugh just so I don't mistake the two because
Me too.
because if I'm talking about both games, I'm gonna try and specify, but like still, I think after 2019, Harbaugh was like, okay, we should switch to the more offensive, plays of the field, which props to him for drafting great defensive players while keeping the offensive mindset. Like not Devin Duvernay.
I was gonna say that's a wideout, my buddy. What are we doing here?
Patrick Queen, Marlon Humphrey, picking up who's their linebacker? I'm a Ravens fan. I should know this.
Away.
Yeah, away.
Yeah, I mean, even making trades like getting
still
Calais Campbell from Jacksonville for a cheap price, like that was huge. Kyle Hamilton, in the draft, huge safety. That's just he's been playing really good under his scheme, and that's
Roquan
him. Now.
Smith.
I mean,
Trading for
Roquan Smith, another
trading
trade.
for Roquan Smith is a beast. Yeah, I don't get Baltimore. Either be consistent. Be consistent. That's all I ask of you is to be consistent. You can't beat the Bengals. You can't beat the Bengals and then lose to the Colts next week.
I so badly want to make a point, but I can't because the game's coming up shortly.
just gotta hold it in.
I know.
All right. Sucks. Before I start crying, Panthers versus Seahawks.
Cry.
Seahawks winning. Seahawks winning this game. 37-27. Kenneth Walker balled out. Kenneth
did.
Walker was doing amazing, and DK Metcalf was doing amazing as well.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about
Hey, that's what you get for benching.
it. The one time I try to do an experimental lineup and it just kills me.
This I'm surprised the Panthers got as many points as they did. Getting 27 points, but Panthers defense is yikes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the Seahawks are a bad team. I'm not saying Seahawks is a team that you want to get absolutely like dominated by, but it's a team. It's still nonetheless 37 points is 37 points. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I will give some credit, especially to Bryce Young, having to work with this team and having the nerve to just kind of ease into this hellish situation and not do as bad as I thought. The Panthers are hanging around in games like this to where, the Seahawks, they're not slouches. They're not a bad team.
Unfortunately, they're not. Unfortunately, they are pretty good. So, God dang it, Lions, you got to do better last week. Well, we're not talking about that week. We're talking about this week.
Also, how about Andy Dalton, Mr. Red Rocket? Anybody?
Mr. Red Rocket coming in for the Panthers.
Right now, if Chooch were here, he'd be shaking his fist, going, "What the heck, man? Quit with the Red Rocket stuff."
Hey, man, he's an MVP. He's an MVP, man.
100%.
MVP case scenario. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. No, he's not. Do not quote me on that. Please do not think I'm serious.
I'm definitely quoting you. Just full disclosure.
Panthers.
And I do
think
want to clarify my Bryce Young part because I know that's why I mentioned Andy Dalton right after. I wasn't saying Bryce Young in this game necessarily.
talking about Bryce Young in general.
Exactly. Yeah, I wanted to say, his play through the season gave them to a point to be here and play like this. I guess I should have worded that better, but yeah, no, Andy Dalton, he balled out.
Yeah. So I think Panthers are still a long way from being like a good team, like a pretty solid team.
You think?
Yeah. That's kind of dumb, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Next game. Absolutely domination. Bears versus Chiefs. Taylor Swift gave that energy out to the Chiefs Nation. And this is going to be the worst album of all time when this is going to be a horrible album. Oh my God.
Is she just going to sing "We're Never Getting Back Together" again?
Yeah.
Well, the Bears might not ever get back together in terms of defense.
Did you see that ridiculous stat with Justin Jefferson and the Bears?
Yes, he has more receiving yards than any Bears players combined.
And he's only like 24.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's ridiculous, ain't it?
Bears, where are you? Are you in the forest? Are you like where are you?
Fair. They really haven't had any standout wide. I mean, I know technically Devin Hester, but like he didn't really do a whole lot. Minus, kick returns and occasionally some really nice catches.
So now that we're seeing that the Bears are doing horrible, do you think they're going to get the round 1 pick again?
Oh man, I mean, my big question is, do they give up on Justin Fields? Because he's given his heart and soul to this team, and I don't know if you betray that. But if you do get the number 1 pick, where do you go? I mean, you'd imagine O-line, or you'd imagine Marvin Harrison Jr. To me, those are the two. Even though I
No,
know some would say Caleb Williams or Drake May or another great quarterback in
they're
the class.
they're
It's
definitely
hard to
getting another
wrap it.
quarterback, 100%. Justin Fields, I don't think you can even blame the O line is an issue, but when there are plays that like he's not getting pressure at all, and then he throws an interception, is just like you had 30 seconds to think about your life decisions. You had to recover from a flashback when you were a baby throwing your first ball, and then you throw an interception. Is like I don't see Justin Fields doing a lot this year, and I think he's potentially not worse than Zach Wilson, but
Oh hell no, no.
he's still pretty bad. Just
Yeah, I
missing
mean,
receivers and jeez.
I'm sorry, Justin. I tried to fight for you, but yeah, I think
It's
you're gonna
not
have
gonna
a
be
problem with
easy.
this.
it's
Unless you have a
it's
great rest of the season.
next week we're talking trash about him. Absolutely balls out against the Broncos. 98 points.
This is your sign to go pick him up in fantasy, by the way, for this week. Go do it.
No, do not listen to us. Do not listen to us.
He's gonna
You're
have like
horrible.
50 points.
He's gonna have 78 points.
He's gonna be better than Dallas's defense week 0 or week 1, whatever it was.
Oh god. I like Justin Fields himself is just a travesty right now. And I'm not saying I expected the Bears to win or even do good. I did not expect them to do good. I just expected more from Justin Fields in this season in total. Because it's
It is
bad.
so young.
It's bad when your quarterback is missing wide open receivers, a couple plays, but when it's almost every single play, like I don't even think Russell Wilson did this bad last year. I'm
No,
not even gonna lie.
he did better for sure.
Yeah. I think either you should trade Justin Fields
Which would be
or
logical.
yeah, which would be logical. And then because I'm thinking Cardinals get the number 2 overall, and then the Bears get the number 1 overall again. So this is bad.
Well, and the other thing on top of that is you got your ass kicked this week, which makes it 10 times worse. I mean, Kansas City, they were out for blood and they showed it. I mean, Mahomes balled out. Pacheco had some nice plays. Elair got a touchdown. I mean,
Kelsey
it,
was doing Kelsey
Kelsey.
things.
Kelsey had to show out for Taylor.
Yeah, exactly.
If he didn't, he was getting broken up right there. So
Horrible album. I cannot wait for this album to come out. He
she
scored a
did make a lot.
touchdown, but never reached my heart.
No,
Just
please. That's cursed. That's cursed. No. Oh
God, this
no.
album. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, by the way.
Oh hell
I'm
no.
not a Swiftie.
Thumbs down.
We're not gonna attack that fan base, so we'll get death threats.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Have fun at the Bears while you're still there because your time is not long for
Hey,
this.
make sure to put a copyright though on that. He scored a touchdown but didn't get into my heart because now if she uses that, you'll have a claim. You'll say, nope, I said it first.
Yeah, exactly. Taylor Swift, watch out. Do not repeat me.
Copyright claim, baby.
All right, it's time to go to the biggest upset of this week. I feel like the Cowboys versus the Cardinals. Do you agree?
This was the game, by the way. I was going to make my point about, and then I had to wait. So, everybody thinks that just because you have one good week, that means you should be set. And the Cowboys kind of fell into that trap of being overconfident because nobody, and when I say nobody, it's coming real close here. Nobody thought that the Cardinals had a prayer in this game. And not only did they have a prayer, they destroyed.
Yeah, not even close.
Destroyed.
it's like, okay, my 0-17 prediction is out the window, sadly. And not to even like, oh, it was the Bears or something like that. It wasn't any team like that. It was the Cowboys. Now, I don't think the Cowboys is a great team. I think Dak Prescott is not what people think he is.
Overrated.
But the fact that the Cowboys still lost to easily what people are expecting to be the worst team in the league for this season, and that's just unbelievable to me. I'm sure the Cowboys coach is furious right now. Like I would be too. If we're expected to be one of the best teams in the NFL and then we lose to the worst team in the NFL,
He's
that's
definitely flipping some tables.
yeah. He might as well be a Buffalo Bills fan. He's gonna break some people over a table.
Oh
100%.
man.
I
Yeah,
just
I mean,
I'm just shocked.
how do you recover from this? I mean, well, what is the message going forward? Like, hey guys, we did that thing again, except we didn't wait for the playoffs. Is that the message? Like, hey, we got it out now, so we can go win a Super Bowl? Like, is this how this is working?
Do you think the Cowboys are gonna fall off because of this?
No, they'll still
No.
make the playoffs just to lose in the wild card like they always do.
Wow.
I'm
They do
sorry,
face New
Cowboy
England.
fans.
They do face New England next week.
Dak will probably have a bounce back. I mean, if it's any indicator, New England only scored 15 on New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think this defense sucks because you're letting the Cardinals get 28 points on you. But for this game, I think the defense is going to show up for New England next week.
I also think it's kind of funny too how much trash talking I saw from Cowboys fans heading into this game.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna smash.
This
the
will be an easy
Cardinals.
game.
We'll destroy the Cardinals. We have Micah Parsons. They're
We're
all
going to destroy the
watching the
pigeons."
spray." No, bro, you did not just do that. Not live on stream. Come on.
We're gonna get the pigeons out of the way. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown,
No.
touchdown. Oh, that hurt.
Folks, let this be a lesson to why you never shit talk before the game's over. Yeah, they look like idiots now.
Unless you're a Michigan fan going into an Ohio State game, and then you especially do that, and so then Michigan can blow out Ohio State. Anyway, next point. Next game, Steelers versus Raiders. Oh, Steelers versus Raiders. Went away for a second. 23-13.
I was going to say, did we watch the same game?
23-18. Steelers taking this victory. Raiders are doing a lot more than I expected of them to be. I feel like.
Me too.
Which is, not fun considering you're a filthy Raiders fan. So
I am indeed.
It's surprising. I thought they'd be the worst team in the division, and currently they're doing, pretty decent right now. Not they lost this week, but I'm saying just in totals of like being an offensive, player of being an offense, doing pretty well right now.
The thing with the Raiders that I just don't get, it's like a teeter-totter of emotions. It's like, which team are we going to see today? Is it going to be the team that has a great offense and no defense? Is it going to be a team that has a great defense and no offense? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to suck or is he going to be great? Is Josh Jacobs going to, complain or is he going to play great? It's just like there is no consistency with this team at all. And it really pisses me off as a fan.
This team is probably more inconsistent than the Ravens.
Agreed. 100%.
And Steelers also just showing out in this game. I thought they would win by more, but dub is a dub nonetheless.
Right. Yeah. So, I honestly was expecting a bloodbath.
A bloodbath?
I was. Okay. I thought we were going to get killed this game.
Wow. That surprises me.
Like
Okay.
some people say like I'm a false fan for it. I just look at it as being a realist. I mean, I honestly don't think we're all that good. I don't think Jimmy G's the guy. I think Aiden O'Connell is the best QB we got on the roster currently, but don't listen to me on that. Trust me. Um, yeah, I don't know what to expect. It's the same story every year with this team. We'll get like a top 10 pick though, and then we'll use it on somebody. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Tyree Wilson and all, but it's just like, ah man, when will the cycle end? When will we get back to playoffs again? Like
You're
these
gonna
are
you're,
questions
you're
I'm
gonna
waiting.
you're gonna draft a really great player, and then he's gonna do great for 2 seasons, but then fall off in like middle of the second season, and then you're gonna trade for him. You're gonna trade him out for like a round 2 pick.
Wouldn't doubt it. Would not doubt it. Or we'll get, another pit like Josh Jacobs just to waste his talent. Go figure.
Yeah, and just keep him there forever.
Or poor Darren Waller.
So yeah, congratulations to the Steelers, though.
But I do want to talk about this game real quick. The thing is, Matt Canada needs to be fired from the Steelers. This
You
man
think
should
so?
not be, yes, 100%. This man should not be allowed near any offense above high school for the remainder of his coaching career. The
Above
guy,
high school.
he sucked at LSU. He sucked at Pitt, sucks at the other Pitt, the current Pitt, Pittsburgh. And now he's ruining Kenny Pickett's career. He's ruining Najee Harris's career.
George
Uh,
Pickens.
George Pickens. The list just keeps going on. Pat Fryermuth, Mike Tomlin, and God bless these defensive players that show up every day to play for this team because you know what? Your offense ain't going to do shit. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. I almost said national title. This is my college. Matt Canada's a joke. I cannot believe they call him an offensive guru. The guy could not outcoach a 5-year-old, let alone the okay. Jet sweeps don't work. Ask Lane Kiffin this week. It's stupid. Get him out of Pittsburgh. Save Kenny Pickett. Save Najee Harris. Save the whole offense. Just do it, please. I'm sick of watching this talent waste away.
If there is a coach in like college that you think is like, okay, time's not going well for him in college, and then he can go in the NFL, do you think there's a coach like that in college that can coach the Steelers?
Well, it's not, okay, for an offensive coordinator, I would love to see Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss and come up because he can coach an offense, and I think he can do it at the pro level, and I think he'd be successful. And he's not doing so great, at Ole Miss after the Bama loss. They really don't like him. Just read the Twitter pages. And then they got LSU this week. If they lose to LSU this week, oh dear God, Ole Miss Twitter meltdown. So, and I will laugh hysterically with my bag of popcorn. So hopefully that happens. Um,
I
but
would
yeah,
like to see that.
Lane Kiffin.
I'd like to see him go to the Steelers
Me
as
too.
either a coach or an offensive coordinator. Because really, with this team, you need like an offensive guy to be at the head coaching position.
Exactly. I mean, if we're talking realistically, and you're not going to like this, but Harbaugh has been flirting with some NFL jobs and thinking of leaving Michigan. As much as you would hate that, because believe me, he's a good coach. Hopefully, for your sake, that doesn't happen. But
Hey, can you imagine though? Because the Ravens and Steelers are
same
like
division.
division rivals.
Yeah,
Can you imagine if he went there?
that'd be a lot of fun. 2 times, maybe even 3 times a year.
That would suck to see him leave, but it would be pretty cool to see him go and coach an NFL
And most hated
team.
rivalry, too.
Mm-hmm. Man, that would suck because he's such a good coach, and we need him
Right.
at Michigan. Unless we get even a better coach in replace of him, but that's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, next game: Eagles versus Bucks. Eagles absolutely this is surprising just because the Eagles have not played their, Jalen Hurts did not play his greatest game in here, and they somehow surprisingly still put up 25 points and took the win over Bucks. Now, that doesn't mean the Bucks didn't do great. Baker Mayfield is still, in my eyes, for this season, doing maybe a top 10 quarterback. Is that crazy to say that Baker Mayfield's a top 10 quarterback right now?
I'd have
Early
to
in this
think more
season,
about it.
maybe top 15, because it's
Top
just
15, yeah.
crazy. It's just crazy the amount of catches that they're making. Blame that on Mike Evans, but it's still just he's doing amazing. Mike Evans, let alone. It is very much Mike Evans' fault for like getting all these wins.
Mike
But
Evans versus the Eagles is what the title should be, by the way.
Mike Evans versus the Eagles. They did put up a well fought victory. I think the Bucks tried harder in this game, but Eagles still came out on top, which is just an absolutely saying to how good this Eagles team is right now.
Well, I think the thing that nobody talks about in this game is how mirror imaged these teams are. They both have
Mm-hmm.
incredible defenses. Obviously, the Eagles have the better offense right now, but give that a little bit of time. The Bucks don't have the worst skill positions either. Wide receivers, like you said, you got Mike Evans and Mike Evans, and but Russell Gage, he has a few nice catches and makes some plays. Um, and then you had tight ends, and you have like or not Trey McBride. He's a Cardinal wrong. Cade Otton is who I meant at tight end, and you got a decent tight end room there, and you got some pretty decent backs, and the O line's not too bad. So
Yeah,
these
no.
teams are a lot more closer together than you'd imagine. Just a few key pieces. So the fact that they only beat them by 14 isn't really the end of the world if you think about it.
Yeah, I think so too. Um, I do think, and I will say this until the end of the season, this Bucks team was very overlooked. I
Very.
thought they would be like right by the Cardinals and being one of the worst teams, but now that I'm seeing Baker Mayfield actually, getting back into being an NFL team in the long term, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm saying like long term as in like he's gonna play for the season as a starter and not as like a backup or anything like that. Like this has been the first time that he's been a starter for a season since he's been in the Browns.
Exactly.
Since he was a player for the Browns, which is like crazy to think. And
Also,
he's showing
Cleveland,
that he's not the worst.
right? I hope Cleveland's enjoying that, screwing over Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Very rough right now.
No, but to your point though, he's really taken control and almost kind of shined back to the Oklahoma days. Not fully, but somewhat. We're seeing that flash and that swagger coming back to Baker. So, I'm very happy and excited to see this form returning because it gives a lot of hope uh, back to this organization, and it really just shows that they're not as far gone as like you were saying, you thought, how I thought, and I think Chooch had a little bit more respect for him than we did, but
Yeah.
he was definitely right on that. They're a way better team than I thought they would be. I also
Yeah.
think Jalen Hurts kind of had a bounce back as well from what we've been seeing recently. 277 yards. I won't say he's fully back to what he was, but compared to the last few weeks, he had a better game.
Yeah. I just think the reason why we were like overlooking this team so much is because of the Tom Brady retirement. Like,
Right.
oh, is this team gonna? Because Tom Brady, last season wasn't as great as we hoped it would be. I don't care, so I'm glad he did bring it back. So, but yeah, after that retirement, we're like, oh man, what's going to happen with the Bucks now that that good old Tommy boy's gone? I could potentially see them having a better record than last year.
Agreed.
All right, next game though, Rams versus Bungles. The Bengals take this win, taking their first win. Still not as good as we'd liked it to be. Only winning by a field goal, which is couldn't score one more point so I could win my fantasy week. But anyway,
Freaking McPherson.
I just I'm really worried about this Bengals team. Not I'm not a Bengals fan, but I like Joe Burrow. I like the stuff that he does on the field, and him not doing what he's like known for. Now we're past that part where he's like, okay, we're not, crap in the beginning of the season. And then he's like, okay, it's like week 3 now, and you're still not doing the Joey B things that we like you to do. You're not Joe Shiesty right now. You're just Joe
Right.
Burrow.
You're not Joe Burrow. You're Joe Burrow right now.
Yeah. You're Joe Burrow and 2 right now. So what are you gonna do?
Well, I will say this was kind of a comeback game for Jamar Chase, at least. He had a better showing for, I think it was 12 receptions for 141. So, that's a plus to see at least him coming back to who he should be. But I'm very concerned about the Cincy team in terms of, on the scale where I'm at. I'm at that beginning color of orange to where, obviously I look at it, green, yellow, orange, and red. So I'm at that very beginning orange to where it's like, okay, I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt the first few weeks. You still haven't figured it out. Um, you better figure it out now or at least in the next week or it's crimson red. You got to get your shit together.
Yeah. Now this is my question. Next week they face Tennessee. If they do not get, how do I phrase this right? If they either lose or win by not many, like they get like a win, like a record like here, are you afraid? Because it's Tennessee.
I will be beginning red. Let me just put it to you that way because, you know, there's a lot to like about this Bengals team. There's a lot of talent. There's coaching's okay. I never thought much of Zach Taylor. He's just kind of he's a figurehead. He just smiles and it's like, oh, okay, he's alive.
He's
Um,
there,
yeah, but Joe Burrow and Chase are usually the story, but there's a lot of different pieces. Obviously, the O line's not living up to the hype. The defense is okay; they're not quite where they should be, and Joe Burrow definitely not where he should be. So, you
yeah.
know, there has to be at least some show of continuity between these between these parts of the team in order to get them going. So I think that's the big points for Cincinnati. Uh, just getting in rhythm again, really. That's the scary part. But thankfully, you do have Tennessee. You should absolutely demolish Tennessee, shut down Derrick Henry, and it's not going to be a tough win if you can do that.
Yeah, just to put into perspective how bad Joe Burrow is doing right now, as of September 27th, 2023. We're in week 3. And week 3 ended, and he only has 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions with 563 yards.
Sounds like rookie numbers.
Yeah. It really does. Like, this is not good right now.
Not at all.
And you showed promise later in the fourth quarter against Baltimore, but it didn't come to much.
It didn't carry over at all.
Taking a loss last week. Yeah, and especially week 1 against the Browns, not showing anything. So yeah, Joey B, I hope you pop back and just show what what you can be. And this does show our track record with players getting like amazing contracts and then just not doing good.
See, and that's like I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes, right? Because he was the initial one who started this in terms of, one player getting a whole lot of money, but he actually showed out. He actually won another Super Bowl after that. Everybody else, like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, sorry to drag on you there.
Hey, it was only a week 1 bad performance. I'll take a week 1 bad performance and then bounce it back against week 2.
Yeah, and then
I'll
and
take
then
that.
Joe Burrow on top of that, and and Justin Herbert. Man, fellas, we gotta if you want that money to keep coming higher and higher, you gotta show out for everybody else. And if you don't, GMs are gonna go, okay, we've been shown this isn't working. We're not doing this. Plain and simple.
What I see is that there's going to be a lot of incentives if you want to earn that
Yes.
like $300 billion in your contract.
Who was the guy who just got resigned who had all those incentives?
Chris Jones,
Chris Jones, yeah.
yeah,
That was a
which
great contract.
it was a good contract. It was like we'll give you the extra million if you win a Super Bowl. We'll give you an extra million if you make a Pro Bowl. It's all that stuff like that. So if there's gonna be these many contracts of like okay $300 million, it's like okay, are you gonna put in so many incentives that if they don't do well, it's gonna be like 30 million? Because that's where I see it going right now.
Right, yeah.
That's what I would do as a GM. I would be like, okay, if you if all right, we'll give you a 6-year contract. And then within these 6 years, if you make the playoffs at least 3 times, if you make it to the Super Bowl, if you get in the conference championships, all those type of stuff, and if you don't get injured, all those type of incentives I'm thinking of at the top of my head currently
Right.
is things that I think quarterbacks contract should be placed into. And if you don't do any of these and you completely fall off, you get nothing. You get not I'm saying nothing. You get like 50
You
million.
get nothing. Walk away. Leave.
You get nothing and you like it
You work for us now, boy.
because you see these things like, oh, I'm getting 260 million guaranteed. I'm just gonna play bad and then play my 5 years and live a happy retirement.
Exactly.
All right, time to move on to the last game though.
Oh
Now,
no.
what I'm about to show you, you're gonna be like,
Oh
wait, why are
no.
you showing us like a college score? This is not a college score. Broncos
Is this the
versus the
Buffalo?
Dolphins. Nope, this is not Buffalo. This is not the Buffalo.
Colorado Buffalo.
Yeah, Colorado Buffaloes. Nope, this is
Uh,
just a bad weekend
Dion,
for
please keep
Denver.
her asleep, by the way. It was a joke.
Sorry, Coach Prime. God. Now, this is an interesting game because I cannot decide if. Actually, I can decide. Broncos defense. You had like the top 5 defense last year. If not top 5, you were number 1. Okay, last year, and it was number 1.
Numero
And
uno.
the way you were losing is from offense. And now this year, you're having a good offense. Russell Wilson is not doing what he was doing last year. He's actually making smart decisions and seeing open plays. And now you're letting, and this is a bad example for this week because it's the Dolphins and they have a really great offense. But like the games before, you're letting these teams just walk on you. And I don't understand why, because I don't see like players that were either given away in the offseason from the Broncos that could have had a huge impact on this defense.
Yeah,
I
I mean, to add on to your point there, I mean, it, I, what changed? Like,
I
if
don't
anything,
know.
you guys got better. You kind of traded out your future, and I know everybody, kind of points to the Russell Wilson thing, but this has nothing to do with Russell Wilson because, like
He's
you're
doing
saying,
good.
he played really good throughout this whole season. Okay, or maybe not, the Dolphins game, but we'll let one game slide. Um, but
And now we're 0-3.
yeah, exactly. Why is the defense now all of a sudden giving up 70 points? And for the record, the Dolphins could have broke the record and had 73 if they wanted to,
Yeah.
or
And
more.
by the way, I don't know if you notice, but the Dolphins head coach was like when they were down later in the game when the Dolphins had like 50 points, he was going in the stands and asking fans to draw plays. I'm not joking. You can look it up. That's the best thing I have ever seen.
That's incredible.
It's like that's embarrassing.
I mean, just imagine that. Like, hey, random person, do you want to, it's like one of those SNL skits, right?
It's just bad because last year you're like, okay, you found a reason. Okay, not Mike. Russell Wilson is doing terrible right now. Okay. That was the best reason, and that was a really solid reason. But now you're just like, what is happening? What is going on? Why is the defense performing like this? Is it um Sean Payton? Is it just like I don't know how Sean Payton can affect this team that badly, especially since you didn't really lose that many defensive weapons.
See, and that's the thing too. Like, I know everybody wants to jump, and I'm not saying you were doing this, but I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of people want to jump on the Sean Payton hate train just because of this year and how it's gone. But like, the guy's a good coach. He'll get you to playoff respectability. I don't know about a Super Bowl, but he will get you respectable once again. This is just your typical year one. Nobody ever clicks fully year one. Give the guy time. But as for this year, I have no words. I
Yeah.
genuinely, is it the defensive coordinator? Are the players? Do they have a beef somewhere that we don't know about? Did
Are
somebody
they not
cheat on
mixing
somebody?
together? Are they not blending well? Are there
Exactly.
fights in the locker room with the defensive sides?
Is
And
it the pressure not getting to the QB? Is it the coverage breaking down? Like what is the issue here?
yeah, and I just want to share this I just want to share this clip really quickly. Universal
Go
One
for it.
News posted this thing. Yeah, look, he was literally in the stands. Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
He was literally in the stands talking. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. That's bad when your coach can literally like, all right, time to take a break here. Let's see what these fans have to say. Like, oh, that's bad, man.
Now, did they charge extra for that? I'm just saying,
I don't
man.
think so.
Like,
I don't
hey,
think
it's
so.
$50 to call a play. Come on, guys. Who wants to do
And I would have gotten a job. I'd be like, hey man, run this route. Another touchdown scored by the Dolphins.
it? We need to hire this Jacob guy.
I will say, you know that ESPN article we pulled up in like the first week of the NFL show, where it was like
Yes.
Eagles versus Dolphins, and we were like, oh man, this is a trash pick. I might have to take my
Yep.
statement back on this. I really could see that happening now. If Tua is not hurt, if Tua doesn't get hurt, it's gonna be an incredible season for the Dolphins. Because if you do this almost every week, oh
Well, I'm just gonna
man,
say two things. First off, who is the eighth grader playing in Madden franchise right now as the Dolphins? because this dude's playing on arcade difficulty
Rookie
and
mode, arcade,
rookie.
yeah.
Anything he wants is open. Tua's looking like a superstar, you
Tyreek
know.
Hill was already in the end zone when the ball snapped.
Get off the game. You know, quit messing with the timeline. Let's go back to normal football here, please. Um, and the second thing is, on a serious note, is let's not overreact. The
Yeah.
Dolphins, they look good. It's 3 weeks. If they keep this up for a good portion, if we're still talking like this week 8, say, all right, I'll take back this comment, but let's not overreact here. It's still the Dolphins. They'll find a way to lose a few games and go back to normal form. And I hope you
Yeah.
guys see this over there in Miami and shut me up. That would be really cool. So, feel free.
But yeah, this Broncos team, it's just a completely 180 of why they're messing up. It was first last season Russell Wilson's just not doing great. Now this season Russell Wilson is doing pretty good, and this defense is just slacking really hard. Now I expect the Dolphins to win. I just didn't expect it to be like this,
Yeah,
like
no.
this bad.
Stall
Um,
drag.
yeah. All right. That will do it for the week 3 games, though. So it's time to go into our fantasy segment, where each of us have picked out one really good player from this week, one really okay-ish player, and then a really bad one.
You want to go
Cole.
first? Oh,
Yep,
you
Cole,
want me?
you'll go first.
All right. So, my really good player for this week, and it's somebody that I just picked up from waivers, and I didn't play because I just well, why would I do anything good this week? Let's just be honest. Um,
Yeah, you never do anything good.
wow, just kill me. But on a serious note, I picked up CJ Stroud,
Oh,
and he put up 2260 this week.
man.
How? Like this is the week where I was like, oh my goodness, he's here. This is perfect. I'll play him in a future week. And then he literally destroys the world. Like, what the heck, man? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely my player who just kicked the shit out of everything this week. So that's my good. My mid player, and this might not come as a surprise to anybody because, well, it's kind of expected. Gus Edwards.
Oh,
Yeah, he put up 510 this week, which isn't
yeah.
bad, but it's not great. And honestly, I don't understand how you put up 510 when the Ravens' MO is running the football. Like maybe you guys can help me with
Uh,
that in the comments because I'm really missing a memo here. But that really shocked me.
he did get injured, did he?
Did he get injured?
I think so. Injury updates ahead of Browns game. Yeah, I think he did.
I was gonna say I didn't remember that if he
So
did.
that's now J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then I'm gonna give you two mids since I was prepared for something random happening. My other mid for this week was Chris Godwin. He put up 670, which again, like, okay, don't get me wrong. I know he played the Eagles and all, but Mike Evans cannot just be
Stole the
doing
show.
it alone. Yeah. Chris Godwin only had 32 reception yards and one 2-point play that went, for him. But like, how are you not being more of a dynamic threat when literally it goes like this? You are the number 2. meaning you don't get the heavy matches. You don't have to go hand in hand against, the toughness of the other team as much because that's Mike Evans. How are you not at least, showing out and getting more points? I guess that's my big question mark. That's still
Yeah.
not answered, by the way. So anytime you guys would like to, answer that, go ahead. All right, and then I don't do I really have to do this?
You have to, man.
I really I can we just skip the bad part? I don't want to relive.
No, you have to. You have to. You have to.
Okay, wait. Let's have chat decide here, real quick because I just chat. Do I have to? Come on.
Yes. Yes. No one's in the chat.
Wow, you just had to do that. Okay.
I'm your chat,
Anyway,
and you have to.
enough stalling out here. I'll get to the point. But I think the most saddest stat line I saw was Dalton Schultz this week on Houston. He had
Ooh.
1.40, nine receiving yards on one reception.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why, Houston, that I mean they won, but they could have won by more. Like Dalton Schultz is one of your best guys, and you only got the ball to him one time.
Yeah.
I'm
That's bad.
But yeah, those are my four. I upped it, put in the extra effort, gave you one more.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
My my thing though. So good. I got Kenneth Walker scoring
Like it.
29.10 points, which is amazing. And then my mid guy, Baker Mayfield scoring 15.20 points. I know that's still pretty good, but compared to my good, pretty mid. And then my bad is Calvin Ridley
Ooh.
with 5.50. Calvin. Come on, man. You were doing so good week 1. You scored like 20 week 1. What are we doing here, buddy?
Backstepping.
Man, I hope he improves because I don't think he has. How old is Calvin Ridley?
27, I want to say.
Yeah, 27. So I hope he can improve a lot and do better. So yeah.
All right.
Last segment of the show though, games in week 4 we're excited for. Now,
I
Cole,
want
I'm
you to
gonna.
start this time.
You want me to start this time?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Take the
First
wind
game.
out of my sails. You always do it.
First game that comes to mind. Denver versus Chicago. Now, I know this is a little weird to be excited about, but I'm just thinking, okay, these guys they have to win, and if they tie, I'm gonna cry.
Please
the
tie.
the two worst teams in the NFL right now, both without a win, and I honestly think Denver is gonna blow Chicago out because the good thing about Denver, they have a good offense, there's not a lot of defense, and Chicago doesn't have either. So
No.
so Denver, get this win, man. Please get this win.
All right.
And then after that, I have this is my only second game, and this is my last one. Miami versus Buffalo.
Oh, good. I thought you were gonna say mine. Okay.
Say your pick. Okay.
I did.
Miami versus Buffalo is going to be electric. Two of some of the best offenses right now colliding head and head. This is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun.
So I do have a question about this game.
Okay.
Combined, are they going to have over 100 points?
Like both 50-50?
Well, something of that. It could be, 60-40
Oh yeah,
or,
yeah, yeah.
you think so?
Oh man, that's tough because that's a college thing. That's a college thing
Okay.
because college isn't heavy on defense, but the NFL mainly is. And I really can't decide who has a better defense between Buffalo and Miami. So, if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think the defense on either one of the teams will hold up and not let that happen.
Okay. I think
So,
it's going to
yeah,
be close
those are
to
my
100.
two. Close to 100. Yeah, I think it'll be close. It's just not. That's not gonna break that barrier.
Fair enough.
Closest in history, most in history between two teams facing each other.
Could be.
Because after this week, but yeah, those are my two games that I'm excited for.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say that my game is hold on, I gotta pull it up on the screen real quick. Okay, cool. Las Vegas and Los Angeles.
The battle between
No.
the Los and the Los.
See, my reasoning for this game is because I want to see what these two are made of. Because you're in a division that is owned by the Chiefs. I mean, as
Yes.
much as nobody wants to admit it, it is. And this game is going to say, who's challenging the Chiefs for this division. Because let's be honest, sorry, Denver, it's not your year. All right, you got killed.
Even though it fully should be, it's
Oh, it
really not.
should,
Yeah.
100%. But that defense is just thumbs down. But I really want to see who takes initiative and who wants it the most. So to me, that this game is going to be a fun one, and ultimately a lot of questions are going to be answered in terms of that. And
Yeah.
then let me
Who's
pull up
gonna come in
my-
second between that division?
exactly. You see, the important things are going to be answered.
Yeah.
And then my second game is New England versus Dallas. Um, I think this question. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't my game.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to give you false hope, people. Uh,
Man, you really had to just put the nail in there, wouldn't you?
I'm sorry. I can't stop clowning Dallas. It's just not. I mean, how did this to the Cardinals? Speaking of the Cardinals, this is my real second game. Cardinals in San Francisco. Now, hear me out. You're real close. Real close here.
Getting close.
Okay. If Arizona can pull one upset that nobody suspected, could we
No,
make it? Could we
no,
make it too?
no, 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 not no, no, no,
I'm telling you guys.
no,
I'm
no,
telling
no,
you.
no, 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 no,
Josh Dobbs is him.
no,
I'm just he's not. But but
no.
I don't know, man. I never thought that they could beat the Cowboys, and they did. I think they could hang around, make it interesting. San Fran will probably win realistically, but I think this is going to be a lot closer than anybody suspects.
You know what game would be fun? It's
What's
not
that?
scheduled, I don't think, but San Fran versus Cowboys.
I'd have to look, but I don't think that is on the schedule.
I'm saying like just in general that would be a fun game to see that happen.
So much talent.
Yeah. San Fran easily has the best talent in the whole league, though. No,
I
you're
think
absolutely out of your
about
mind. You should get checked into a mental hospital. There
no.
is something. Oh, that's week 5. Dallas versus San Francisco, week 5.
Oh, wait, are you serious though? You don't think San Fran has the best talent?
I said San Fran has the best talent.
I know, but I said yes, and you said you need to get checked. You know what?
No, I said you should get checked because you think the Cardinals have a chance of
Oh,
beating San
okay, okay.
Francisco
I thought you were saying because of
because
the talent. I was
you're
like, what?
bonkers. You're actually bonkers.
I'm just saying, nobody said a week ago they had a chance.
No, still horrible team. Cowboys just have to step it up. All right. Are
Jacob,
those your
you
two?
are always a doubter, my guy. I'm just telling you. You doubted Ohio State. They beat Notre Dame. All right, that doubting
Everyone
isn't
was
good.
doubting Ohio State.
Not me. I picked them.
Of course you did.
I was the one person on that show that gave Ohio State a shot.
Yeah, you're absolutely insane. Is that all your games though?
Yeah, those are my games. Week 4 should be a very fun week though, and tomorrow kicks it off with Detroit. You guys taking on Green Bay,
Oh yeah,
so
Green Bay.
we'll get that all sorted and figured out. And
Which we're winning.
what is your score prediction, by the way? If you had to say one on the spot, what's going to be the score tomorrow?
I don't like doing score predictions, but I will give you one with Green Bay. 27-13 for Green Bay and
I
Detroit.
like it. I like it.
27-13.
I'll go 24-10 Detroit.
Okay. I
Jordan
think
Love gets
last
it
week
done.
against the Falcons, they showed a lot of the biggest doubt in this team is, oh, will the defense be good? And then last week they were like, okay, the defense is actually putting in some stops here, only letting up 6 points against the Falcons. They're not the best team, but it's still, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Desmond Ridder, which is actually doing pretty good right now.
Right.
So just not letting a team score over 6 points is pretty good. Plus, I'm finally getting D lineman some props here in that showing.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think those are, the takeaway things. Especially, I could see Aiden Hutchinson having like just a
Really great
send
season.
off, game almost against Green Bay. Maybe even 3 sacks tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be so fun to see. Hit the stanky leg and the whip. Also, I'd love to see it. Hit the whip and nay. All right. That will be it for us, everybody. I hope you guys had a great show.
I do want to say, tomorrow too, we got the college football show coming.
That is correct.
So yeah, keep your eyes tuned on that. If you're in the Discord, you'll know what time.
Which please join the Discord, and we'll have all of our links to such things as our Instagram, Twitter, or X now, I guess.
No, we're still calling it Twitter. Screw that. Nope.
Feel free to join our Discord and have some conversations with us. We're looking to build up this community. Other than that, I hope all you beautiful broken chairs out there have an awesome night and an awesome college and football NFL season. And we are JCP, and I am Jay from JCP, and we're out.
God bless y'all.